Now let me open up to the floor for questions. So we have selected a couple of people who wants to ask a question. So if you can just take a chat. Asira, hi.
I'm Asira, I'm a mental health practitioner. And Swamiji, I would really like to ask you, in our Indian psychology, Swamiji, we study different aspects about our mind. And Bhagavad Gita is known to be a tool for self-transformation. So my question to you for all of us is this, that what are some of the tips to manage your mind that you can give us from the Bhagavad Gita?
Do your best, leave the rest. Aim for the highest goal. Why anything? Aim for the infinite. And whatever you work for, whatever you get, know that it is the best for you. Make the best of it. If these simple principles that has been taught in the Bhagavad Gita, in a very simple manner, people take it very philosophically and make it very difficult to understand. But our Swami Chinmayananda, Gurudev, do your best, leave the rest. Aim for the highest and have the faith that if your goal is noble, you will achieve it. And stop not till you reach your goal. Do your best, and whatever you get, know is the best for you.
Isha Chirmude.
Hariom Swamiji. So my question to you is how to deal with negative thoughts?
First of all, what do we call as negative thoughts? Anything that is troubling me, anything that is disturbing me, anything that is making me unhappy, anything that is creating in me a sense of fear, etc. These are what you call as negative thoughts. To summarize them, it has been said, whether it is an obsessive desire for something, whether it is anger, greed, obsessive attachment, ego, jealousy, these are thoughts that disturb our mind and loot away our peace, our balance, even our discrimination and our knowledge, isn't it? So really speaking, I think nowadays we should not use the word negative thought. Unwanted thoughts. We keep what we want. What we don't want, we will reject. Like for example, now you're listening to this. Now if this question is not relevant to you, you would be thinking about something else. No? You heard it also, not relevant to me, you drop it. No? What you want, you keep. Understand, are these wanted? The fact that you are restless with them, you call it negative, which means you don't want it. Recognize it, that I don't want it. So, even if they come, whether through your past habits or your past thinking, or suddenly, again, when you're in peer groups, when you're reading the news, whatever, or whatever narratives are told to you, or whatever is going on social media, first is keep yourself in the right company. Company, not only people, but news, etc. Keep yourself in the right company that does not disturb your mind. Doesn't disturb your mind doesn't mean that if there is a situation which is happening, which is something that you can take action on, do take. But don't keep with yourself anything that is going to be unwanted by you in your life. Simple thing is also, if someone has harmed you in a very terrible way, you wish that never happened. It happened, it's gone, it's over. Why are we reliving it again and again and again and again? No? We must want to give it up. Not just say and then say, then we say, okay, I want to give up. Then give up, no? No matter how. Why? Then the question comes, why? Right? Why? Because it is disturbing you. Simple.
Harish PVV.
Namaskaram Swamiji. I am Harish. So I am research scholar in IIT Bombay. So not only IIT Bombay, all the education institutes which are in cities especially, more than 60-70% of the students they are addicted to alcohol, either smoking, alcohol, such even to dangerous substances. And most importantly, I think more than 80% of the students are addicted to pornography and such things. And I definitely feel that they are making their more hesitative, more restless without they knowing about themselves. Like they are doing the such things. On the other hand, like Chinmaya Mission, which is 3 kilometers away from IIT Bombay, such great things are happening here. How we can break the bridge? Like those people are not accessible to this knowledge, which is the greatest in my opinion. So how can we, and India is the mother of that knowledge. So only Indians can know too quickly. How can we break the bridge? Yeah, as a student myself, how can I contribute? Let us say, if I want to remove that thing from the students' minds, because even in 2 months ago there was one suicide. Very bright mind, first year BTech student from Ahmedabad, and his father was a very poor guy. So such things, because of their mental restlessness and agitations, these things are happening. And in my opinion, major cause is these things: smoking, drinking, other substances, and pornography. These 4 things we have to remove from all the minds of students. How can we proceed as a youth especially? Thank you.
I address youth around the world. I've been to the top universities in the world. Everywhere this today is a problem. No? And sadly enough, today it is not just in colleges or higher studies. Unfortunately, it has even reached suicides, addictions of the various different types that you mentioned, heartbreaks, relationships, etc. All these are happening. Confusion about so many things are happening even in schools, and surprisingly, you'll be surprised at what age. Thank God it is not reaching here. First and foremost is we've started also in our schools. Our schools are, God willing, protected, no? But at the same time, our school students have taken up the program of drug reduction program. An amazing thing we saw was how children are made to get addicted to drugs. No? Through the very substances that are put in those things that we commonly eat. I remember when we were children, we were told, please do not eat anything outside, especially outside the school. No? We used to get those jeera golis, and all that. Today, a lot is happening, and people should be made aware of that. Secondly, of course, peer pressure. Others are doing it. I think it is great. But don't we have common sense? We are seeing people commit suicide. We are seeing people, losing their families, right? And each one thinks that it won't happen to me. We must wake up. And the best thing is that self-awareness comes in the institute itself. I'm very much aware. And I know even the cause behind what is happening, right? The cause is not addictions, but the cause why youth go into addiction so quickly. One is external influences. The second is that today, especially in these institutions, I'm not naming any particular institution, we are only made to think that we are intellectuals. No? But we cannot deny that we have got emotions. And our emotions and our intelligence is not integrated. So, with any amount of rational, you cannot explain your emotional self. When a heartbreak takes place, don't be rational. But how to deal with emotions, we are not taught. That is spiritual, that is religious, that is, we are not taught values, we are not taught ethics. That gives us the strength to our knowledge. No? And until and unless we have those virtues, we know how to deal with our emotions, which we had to a great extent. Now you keep on saying the numbers have increased. There were suicides at that time also. There were also addictions. But why not at such rate? And why in education institutions more than anything else? Alcoholism was there, but drug addictions, suicide, more in education institution, and that too also education institution where we are talking about the highest level of intelligence, which you say. But being intellectual is not being intelligent. And now, after having divorced our mind and intellect from each other, our emotions and our knowledge, our rational thinking and our emotional thinking, now we are talking about emotional intelligence. What, only in IT? Emotional intelligence only in IT? Artificial intelligence only in IT? And you ask anyone to answer what emotional intelligence is, you'll see such a big psychological paper that you won't understand a word of it. And I say, if you want to learn emotional intelligence, learn from every housewife. Learn from your mothers who did not do a course in psychology and still brought you up quite well. Right? Who, like dad, may not be always very rational, but knew that what my child needs at what time. That is called as emotional intelligence. Yeah? So it's very important that in our education system, in our upbringing, and we do have, and stop thinking religion, spirituality, whatever is good for you. If you can take drugs, why can't you be spiritual? Right? You can dare to take drugs. Why can't you dare to be spiritual? Yeah? You're experimenting into different things. Why don't you dare to find out what is the essence of religion and how it can help you and how it has helped generations? No? Barring off everything as bad, 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 which can be helpful to you, finally there is no help. No? Then where will you go for help? Drown yourself more and more, in these addictions, which never solve problem, had never solved the problem. No? So it's very important that we must have some ideal, some hero. We must have some set of values that we will follow. Don't allow anyone to play with your intellect. If you want to experiment into other things, why not experiment in what is there in your culture, what is there in your religion, what is there in your spiritual sciences that we have. And India is a rich country of it, which today even round the world, I will not just say West, still comes to India for all these sciences. Is it not? So, that is why our education system started and we brushed it off. Superstition, this, that. Why was the Gayatri Mantra given? My discourses on YouTube are there on the Gayatri Mantra, on ChinmayaChannel. How this integration of our mind and intellect takes place. Intellect with its sheer information and logic, emotions with its feeling. And when they get integrated, then there is intelligence, not just information gathering. That only brings about frustration. In fact, even making choices intellectually becomes difficult. That is why everybody feels that, right? We do not have that emotional forbearance to bear some obstacles or apparent failures in life. While the spiritual sciences have the highest goal, but having done your best, accept. Then you can build upon that. But whenever we don't get the results of our actions, what do? Consider ourselves to be failure. Bar yourself as a failure, as I said, then there is nothing that you can live for. Therefore, all these things are happening. Therefore, it's very important that in our education, whether school education or higher education, values, ethics, mastery over your mind, as a clarity of things, and at the same time, there must be some prevention. Some discipline should be there. There are colleges where they do not permit these things.
Swamiji, to his point when he spoke about how can this knowledge be imparted. So do you think having more, now people call social media influencers, they're all influencing people to buy products. But we need more people to influence for them to get into spirituality.
Spirituality, it's there. Even this is on social media, right?
Yes.
Right. So there is. It depends. You go to which site, you go to which organization. So it is available for us, but people must be made aware, and therefore do popularize. Do popularize. It's not about popularity, but what you think has benefited you and what can benefit many. Do not be ashamed to popularize it. Right? Once it becomes a trend, everybody will follow.
Swamiji, earlier we were talking off camera about this initiative in Siddhbari, make one or change one or something. Even if one person can influence and bring somebody to spirituality, the world will be a better place.
In our rural villages, how the women of our most rural villages, each one having benefited and developed their own village to become self-sufficient, will venture forth to help another few village and another few village. Let's start with whoever we can influence into positivity. There will be a ripple effect that will reach. Let us not sit back and say, that's why Gurudev used to always say, youth are not useless, they have only been used less. If they have a sense of purpose, if they have a goal, and they have the strength and resilience to bear the apparent failures and obstacles of life, then they will show what the youth can do.
We will have one last question for the day. Amaram Madhu.
I have a couple of questions to be asked. So you said that we should be aiming for the highest. So whenever the major problem with that the youth faces is goal setting. Like how do they decide what they should be fighting for, what they should be striving for? So how to do this goal setting, and along with it, there is one more cliched statement that we all have come across, which is whenever there is a dilemma between listening to your heart and listening to your mind, you should always go to your heart. So I don't understand what exactly it is. Like, is heart being used in a metaphorical sense, or is it something substantial? And also, while we are striving, we have started working for our goals. Then another problem that comes...
so many questions at a time.
Yeah,
I'll have to remember to ask one question at a time.
So first question is how to do this whole process of goal setting.
First of all, try to spend time with yourself and ask, what do you want out of your life? What do you want of your life? Would the child that you were be proud of the young man that you are today? And years later, would you have regrets, or you would have a sense of self-appreciation? Yeah. Later on, you have to say, will my son and daughter be proud of the father that I am? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Otherwise, today, goal setting means only making more money, or having more things. That is called as goal setting. And that's not what is called as goal setting, really speaking. When I say higher goal, reach for the highest, reach for the infinite. That is what our scriptures are pointing about. Why settle for anything small? Reach the infinite. And they have shown the means to reach the infinite. If that means can help you reach the infinite, then mind you, whatever temporary, whatever you talk, even as far as monetary success of billions is concerned, if you know how to master your mind, there's nothing in this world that you cannot achieve. Therefore, man jeet hai, jag jeet. Conquer your mind, conquer the world. Win the mind, win the world. We don't concentrate on that. We just have great ambitions, but we do not develop ourselves in such a way that we can achieve it. Even if you keep a high goal and concentrate on what I should be doing, rather than just expecting that it's going to happen, you put your mind to making it happen, then you will develop yourself to achieve the highest goal. So concentrate on that. Yeah. Then second question that you asked was about mind, intellect, heart. See, in the spiritual science, this clear definition is clear of these terminologies. Of course, when you translate it from Sanskrit to English, then again it has its own connotations. But today we understand mostly in the English language. So we have got two inner equipments. We have four as such, but two which are executing in this world, others work from behind. And that is your mind and your intellect. Let's take mind as the seat of your emotions, and intellect, your discriminative intellect that can experience, discriminate, judge, learn, discard, accept. This is called as your intellect. Now, spiritually, what you call as the heart is not just your emotional mind, not just your rational intellect. As I was talking about emotional intelligence, when your mind and your intellect are integrated, not divorced like it is happening these days, or it happened in Arjuna, it happened. Whenever our mind and emotions, our intellect and mind, our duties and our emotions, our convictions and our likes and dislikes, when they are not in line with each other, and this divorce takes place, to make decisions, to set goals, to have a sense of purpose, all gets confused. And in confusion, we can never progress. So what you call as the heart is the integration of the mind and intellect. And what is yoga? Yoga, I'm not just talking about asanas, etc. Whether it is Jnana Yoga, whether it is Bhakti Yoga, whether it is Ashtanga Yoga, whether it is Karma Yoga, for which we all are fit for, is all about learning to integrate our mind and intellect. So what intellectually you might set as your goal, if you are not devoted to it, you don't love it, then it's like a bird with one wing stunted. There is some movement, but it does not fly. Both your intellect and your mind should be developed equally and in unison with each other. Unison that both have to go like this, but they are in harmony with each other. So what you intellectually hold as an ideal, and emotionally you are devoted to it, you love it, there the integration takes place and your performance is phenomenal.
Pooja Patil.
Hariom. So my question is, as a newly wedded girl, I wanted to know how to adjust in new family with new people, new surrounding, new community.
Do not think it is your husband's family. It is your family that you are going to continue as your family in the future generation. No? So, there will be good and bad. It was there in your parents' family. It will be there in your in-laws' family also. Don't reject everything. the best that you have brought from your family, very gently, by your presence, introduce into the family, at least with your children. The best that you see, from your husband's family, don't reject it. Even though it might appear to you difficult, adopt it, so that your children get the best of both. Never criticize each other's family.
Swamiji, the session was so informative.
Should you answer his one last
Okay,
question?
let's give him
Since
one.
it's the last question.
Whenever I set a goal, then the first thing that comes to my mind is you cannot do it. That's the first thought that arrests my mind. So how to fearlessly,
Unwanted thought,
yeah.
don't keep it. It comes, don't keep it.
Thank you.
It was a lovely, lovely session, Swamiji. So much to take back. We started talking about mental health, but we did touch base upon a lot of things like heartbreak, peer pressure. The questions that you answered was amazing. Wasn't he great, guys? Let's give a round of applause for Swamiji. It was an amazing session. Thank you so much for enlightening us with a lot of knowledge that you had. And like the gentleman said, it's about this reaching more and more people, and that's what we hope this video does as well. Millions of people seeing this online, and all the people sitting here. Swamiji, to end this, one message to today's youth. If you have to give one statement from your learning, what would it be?
Be happy, spread happiness.
Thank you.